Hello, everybody. Welcome to another off-season episode and another episode in general of our Out of the Park baseball series with the Colorado Rockies. I simulated to the end of the postseason, so before we jump into the off-season, I want to actually show what happened in the postseason and show some of the leaders in stats from the 2022 season. I said I was going to do that the last time we hit the off-season, and I just completely forgot to do it, but we're going to do it this time. Just as a recap, if you missed the last episode, your Rockies finished the season 84-78. We finished 3 games out of a wild card spot. We gave it the best effort that we could. We won 17-10 in September, which was our best month of the season, but it just was not meant to be. Still, though, it was a very promising end to the season. 84-78. That is one of the better records in team history, so there is definitely a lot to build upon going into the offseason. But with that said, let's just check out the playoff coverage real quick. And this was your World Series, the Chicago White Sox going up against the St. Louis Cardinals, a rematch from, what would that have been, 2005, 2006? It was one of those years. And it was the White Sox that came out on top 4-1. Chicago won game 1, St. Louis won game 2, and then Chicago won the next 3 games to take home a title. So how we got there, the White Sox, as a wildcard team, made it to the World Series. They defeated the Astros. The Padres defeated the Mets. And then in the ALDS, you had the White Sox sweep the Blue Jays. The Angels won 3-1 over Cleveland. The Dodgers lost in 5 games to the Padres, and the Cardinals won in 5 games over the Atlanta Braves. So in the LCSs, we had the White Sox and the Angels, and the White Sox won 4-1. And the Cardinals won 4-2 over the Padres, and that's how we got to the World Series. So the White Sox really did not have to play a lot of games. They won their play-in game. They swept the ALDS series. They won in 5 in the LCS, and then they won in 5 in the World Series. So a pretty simple run for the White Sox to a World Series title, so congratulations to them. I do want to show off some player statistics because I did not do that last time. So we'll start with the batters, So we'll go to just regular batting stats, and we will do batting qualifiers. We're only going to do the qualifiers, and we'll sort by OPS, and we'll go all the way up to the top. So the leader in OPS this season in the entire league, not just the National League, the entire league, was Ronald Acuna Jr. He put up an OPS of 1.063, a .638 slugging percentage. He hit 48 home runs, drove in 108 runs. He scored 114 runs. He was an 8-win player. Last year, he was an 11.9 win player, which is incredible. Looks like he won the Triple Crown last year, so good for him. So Ronald Acuna confirmed to be a good player. Not that we didn't know that. Juan Soto, right behind him, a 1.014 OPS, so he is also a good player. 28 home runs, 99 runs batted in, and he was close to a 7-win player, 6.9. Nice. So here are just some of the leaders. You can see if any of your favorite players finished in this kind of top part of the batting leaders. And then if we go to the pitching leaders, and we will sort here by FIP, and then we will go by pitching qualifiers, and we'll go the other way around. So Mike Soroka ended up being the best pitcher in the league in terms of FIP. He pitched to a 2.85 FIP, a 3.08 ERA, 143 strikeouts to 28 walks in 175 and a third innings. Lucas Giolito had a good season as well. He was a 6-win player. He was at the top of the WAR leaderboards all season long. 299 strikeouts in 210 innings for Mr. Giolito, so he had a phenomenal season. I'm sure he's going to win the Cy Young in the American League. Dylan Cease, though, had a good season as well for the World Series champion Chicago White Sox. He pitched to a 3.54 ERA, a 3.02 FIP, 236 strikeouts to 70 walks. So the White Sox definitely had some strikeout guys in their pitching rotation this season. You had LeMay, McKenzie. I thought it was funny. I never really talked about this. Trevor Bauer, remember that he opted out last offseason. He does end up going to the New York Mets, a team that was right in the race for him in real life this past offseason. So he does end up going to the Mets, and he signs a long-term deal with them. So you can see 7 years. So Mets fans, you get Trevor Bauer. I don't know if you guys are going to be happy or upset about that, but it is what it is. We can take a look here. We have Corbin Burns. So he put together a really solid season. As I said, he flamed out towards the end. It was really just these 2 games right here against the Dodgers and the Pirates. It really inflated his ERA, but still a 3.93 FIP, a 4.29 ERA. In and of itself, for a Rockies pitcher, is still a good season, and it would have been better, as I said, if it wasn't for these 2 games. So he struck out 250 batters in 205 and 2/3 innings. He was a 4.5 win player. We're going to give him a contract extension in this episode, which I'm very excited to do. Noah Syndergaard, a guy that we were looking at signing. It seems like he had a very good season for the Yankees. I don't know if he would have done this for us, but it's you start playing the what if game. Oh, well, maybe we should have signed him to that contract, although still $26 million for 4 years. I mean, if he was going to do this, I guess it would have been worth it. 194 strikeouts in 213 innings. He put it to a 3.95 FIP. He was a 4-win pitcher, so he had a solid debut season with the New York Yankees. If we scroll down just a little bit here, I want to see just if there's Framber Valdez. So as I talked about in the last episode, he got better later on in his tenure with the Rockies. We do have team control with him, so he'll probably be back next year. We'll see if we can kind of put together a good, solid full season with the Colorado Rockies. So there are your pitching leaders. I just wanted to show those off because I forgot to do that last time before we hop into the offseason. We did get a couple of comments, so let's get those opened up here real quick, and then we will jump into the offseason. It got interesting at the end, but definitely can't be too upset with 84 wins. Next year is looking up, and I agree. If you recall, I said that the owner wanted us to play close to 500 ball. I thought that the team was capable of playing around 500 ball, but a 30-win jump is really unrealistic in most cases. So if we could have just played maybe 70 wins, I think somewhere in that range I would have been happy with, somewhere in the 400 winning percentage. But this team surprised me a lot, which was exciting. And that really means that going into this offseason and then into the 2023 season, the goal has to be to make the playoffs. We can't just look for a little incremental jump at this point. We need to make the playoffs in 2023 after the season that we just had. We have to prove that 84 and 78, that's not a fluke. We actually do have talented guys on this team, and we need to make the playoffs next year. We won 84 games. I'd like to think, 92 wins gets us to the playoffs. So we need to make an 8-win jump next season, and I think that if we make the right acquisitions like we did this past offseason, we can definitely do that. Would Blackmon have any trade value after he picks up his option because he had such a good season? Or is there even a chance he won't take the option because he might think he's worth more because he had a decent season? That's a good question. You can see that Charlie Blackmon, as a 36-year-old, he just primarily played DH for the entire season. He put up an 801 OPS. He had a 106 WRC+. He was a 1.5-win player. On the back of a 325 BABIP, he hit 25 home runs, 79 RBIs, had a 280 batting average, a 333 OBP. As I said, for $10 million as a DH, I wouldn't be too upset about that, but that does raise a good point that perhaps maybe he thinks he'll be worth more than $10 million, so he might turn down the player option. If he wants to stay, it's fine. I might look into trading him just to see if the value's there. I don't know if it will be for a 36-year-old DH, but it's always good to examine all your options. So we're definitely going to see what the deal is with Charlie Blackmon this offseason. But having said that, I would not be against keeping him here in Colorado until he wants to retire. That's not really something that I would be totally against. Tough to take, but still think you're positioned well for next year, and this one would have been a bonus. Hard to be upset with such a massive improvement, and as I said with Jonathan's comment earlier, all that stuff kind of applies to that comment as well. Very happy with how this season went and may be very excited for the future, but we can't be complacent. We have to continue to improve the team any way possible and make it back to the playoffs for the first time since 2018. And we need to try to make this team a consistent playoff appearance, or make this team a consistent playoff contender, getting multiple playoff appearances, and then hopefully make it so that we have a good shot at winning the World Series, which is going to be tough with the Dodgers and the Padres in our division, as I said, all the way back in episode number 1. But still, I think that we can do it. We made the right acquisitions last offseason. I think we can do it again. Taking a look at how the team is, I think the biggest thing, once again, is going to be finding a starter. I'm not against giving one of the young guys a chance in the rotation like Conine or Lambert, but we do need to replace Austin Gomber in the rotation. That is a necessity. We'll have Corbin Burns. We'll have McCullers. We will have Framber Valdez. So if we decide to put Conine in the rotation, that's just one starting pitcher that we'd have to sign. And taking a look, we have $30 million right now for free agents, $54 million for extension. So we'll have the money to make a good improvement. The bullpen, I'm not too worried about. All these guys have done well once again for another season. We'll have Knebel back, so That'll be the last year of his deal. We'll have Jordan Hicks back, who I think should be able to bounce back next season. I'm really not too worried long term. He had a rough season, but I'm still confident in him long term. The lineup, we could probably look to make some improvements at certain positions. Catcher, if there's a really good option, would probably be a good thing to look at. It's at 661 OPS for a catcher. It's not awful, but a 298 OBP, that's obviously not very pleasant to see. He did hit 15 home runs, 54 RBI. He was a positive value player, so that leads me to believe that he do have some impact with the pitchers. But if there's a better option out there, we're definitely going to look at it. We're not going to have to worry about center field. Second base, I think that I'm probably fine with Tommy Edman. I think he's just a good guy to have on the team, but if there's some really big option out there, it might be good to look at. Didi Gregorius started slow, but he really turned it on as the season progressed, and he ended up with an 843 OPS. He had a 118 WRC plus. So I think the offense, for the most part, is okay. We will have to find a replacement for Joey Gallo. That is going to be a bat that we will need to look to replace. But, I mean, that's something that, we just need to find a good outfielder to fill in, because we have Colton Welker. I'm confident in him to hold down the first base position. He did have 26 home runs, 91 runs batted in. He had an OPS of 771, which was definitely worse than his 103-game appearance in 2021 when he hit 873. But I still think that he can hold down the first base slot and be a positive contributor long term. As with Valade, too, you can say that he was close to a 3-win player this year. He had close to an 800 OPS. So I'm excited to see what he can do with another full season moving forward. But that is about that. Didi, he is going to hit the free agent market as well. We could look to potentially re-sign him. He's looking for $15 million, basically over 4 years. That's not awful, but I'd like to see if there's maybe some better options out there before I commit that to Didi Gregorius. As I said, I think that moving to Colorado was going to help his offensive numbers, and it did, and he was close to a 3-win player. Solid defense at the shortstop position. So I wouldn't be against bringing him back, but we're going to examine all of our possibilities. So let's jump into the offseason. Let's see how things are looking, and we'll go from there. All right, so the offseason has officially started. The season is over. Your season score this year is 656, a nice score indeed. Well done, Frank. So Frank Murphy had a very, very bad first season when we had a score of 1. We definitely did a little bit better this year at 656, so that's good. You can see our reputation now is average. Our MLB career record is still under 500. We're going to need to have some good years to bump that over 500. But let's take a look here at our mail and news. Carlos Martinez, I said we're going to decline his option, so we're going to avoid that last contract year. We're definitely not doing that. Scott Oberg, a team option year for $8 million. He's done pretty well for us the past 2 seasons, but I am going to let him walk just because I want to see if I can get somebody cheaper, which I probably can. And he is a righty. Righty bullpen guys are always easy to find. So we're going to avoid that just so we have the maximum amount of money. So Charlie Blackmon does end up executing his contract option year. He'll be a member of your organization for another year and hopes to be part of a winning team. So we will bring back Charlie Blackmon most likely. Lance McCullers, we are going to execute that option. So we will bring Lance McCullers back after a really solid debut season with the Colorado Rockies, a 3.58 ERA, a 3.17 FIP, 183 strikeouts in 161 innings. Very excited to see what he can do in 2023. A review of the season goals from our good man, Charlie. I reviewed the goals I've set out for you. My comments are below. While you didn't win it all this year, you should still be very happy about an 84-78 record. You exceeded what I expected from this team, and I have a good feeling about future Rocky success. Acquire a player. The acquisition of Joey Gallo pleases me. When I said I wanted a top player, I knew you'd come through. I commend you for a job well done. Attendance numbers look fantastic. I guess I obviously gave you too much time to complete this task. Well done. I gave you a goal in 2021 of making the playoffs in a few seasons. My deadline is not up. It's still a few years away. I do see good things from this team. I still believe the Rockies can reach the postseason by 2026. I am very happy with your performance in accomplishing the goals I have given you. That being said, what I ask of you is not the only thing to evaluate you on. I'm still happy with your performance, but would like to see more from the team. Next year's a new year, though. Here's what I'd like to see you accomplish going forward. So our goals for 2023 and beyond: play close to 500 ball again, upgrade a catcher, improve your team stolen bases, sign Corey Knebel, increase attendance from 37,000 to 44,800, keep building your team in order to reach the playoffs in the next 4 seasons, so by 2026. So he wants us to sign Corey Knebel. That's something we can worry about later on. I'm not worried about doing that right now. You see, we still have him for 1 more year at $6.6 million. So that's something I'll revisit at some point next season. But that is our new budget. We will have $206 million available for total team expenses, given your current spending on staff and other costs. It should allow you for a team payroll of about $160 million. The end of the season prospect list is right here. And look at this. The guy that we ended up drafting number 1 overall is the number 1 prospect in Major League Baseball, which is really promising to see. OSA likes him. Our head scout likes him. He put together a pretty solid season there in A-ball, 4.97 ERA, but a 4.04 FIP, 54 strikeouts to 14 walks and 54 innings. So he's striking out a batter an inning. I'm excited to see what this guy can do moving forward. We're going to have him probably at high A or double A to start 2023, and maybe he'll be able to make it up to the major leagues at some point next year. But I'm very excited. I think we made a good pick with this guy. Cannot wait to see how Delgado develops. I'm really excited. But here's the rest of the top 10. See where your favorite guy landed or did not land. Baltimore dumped their GM, Mike Elias. Dayton Moore has been fired from Kansas City. Let's see. There is the Reds fired their GM, Krall. Pittsburgh Pirates fired Ben Sherrington, along with Derek Shelton. And the San Francisco Giants fired Scott Harris. So bad season to be a general manager, but you know who didn't get fired? Frank Murphy. Frank Murphy's still here, baby. Let's go. So with that said, let's take a look here at salary arbitration. Actually, before we do that, let's take a look at the front office. So we end up having $84 million for free agents, $78 million for extensions. So let's go to salary arbitration. We could just do a 1-year arbitration extension with Corbin Burnes, but I'd like to see what he's looking for at a contract extension. That's still, I'm not going to give him 8 years, but still the demand isn't that bad. I'm going to let Austin Gomber walk. I made that decision. It's just, I don't think it's worth it to have him on this team as a fly ball pitcher. He did do pretty well in 2021, but he couldn't replicate his success in 2022 coming off of the injury. So I'm going to let him walk to free agency. I enjoyed him being a member of the Colorado Rockies, but we're going to let him walk. Framber Valdez, we will bring him back. We will bring Diaz back. Hicks, Edman. We are going to let Fuentes walk. We'll see if we can get a better bench bat in free agency. Although, I don't know. I think I would like to try to get a better bench bat in free agency than Fuentes. We are going to re-sign Tapia. Barnes. We are going to let Gallo walk to free agency. He is looking for a lot. I will give him a qualifying offer just because I know he won't accept it. But we'll see. We're going to let Leury Garcia walk. We're going to let Didi walk. I want to see what else is out there before I commit to Didi. I'm not going to give him a qualifying offer because it is more than what he's looking for. So I think he might accept that. And then instead, we're going to let Oberg walk. We're going to let Zunino walk. We're going to let Martinez walk. And then I'll worry about these minor leaguers off camera. Jacob Barnes is the only one that I might want to keep. He obviously did not pitch this year because he had the radial nerve decompression surgery in April. So I would kind of like to bring him back if he's not looking for a whole lot of money. Like $3 million contract, that's not bad. Like, especially if I could get him for like $2,500,000. Okay, yeah. So we'll bring Jacob Barnes back for one more year, and that's the one pending free agent we will bring back. Everyone else we're going to let walk. So I am going to do this contract extensions off screen. I'll definitely show you guys the Corbin Burnes contract when we come back. So give me 1 second. Let me get through all this, and then I'll come back with some news. All right, it is Thursday, December 1st. I wanted to simulate just one day before the free agent filings occurred. I think this is also a good place to just kind of recap what has gone on. So we did get all the guys back that we wanted to. We re-signed Framber Valdez to a 1-year deal worth $1.75 million. We re-signed Jordan Hicks to a 1-year, $6 million deal. We re-signed Tommy Edman to a 1-year deal worth $1.45 million, which I thought was a good deal for him. We did get Matt Barnes back for $2.5 million. We re-signed Jairo Diaz to a 1-year deal worth $1.35 million. We did get back Raimel Tapia for a 1-year deal worth $4.45 million. So that was good. And our big extension came with Corbin Burnes, and we signed Corbin Burnes to a 5-year deal worth $66.5 million. He'll make $5.5 million in 2023, $12.25 million in 2024, $15.5 million in 2025 and 2026, and then $17.75 million in 2027. That is a team option. So if he does completely flounder by that point, It is just a $3 million buyout, so we can get rid of him, and we did promise him the role of starting pitcher. So we lock up Corbin Burns. The fans were happy about it. You can see the fan reaction increases slightly, that we will keep, hopefully, our ace here for the next several seasons. So let's go through the awards. The Gold Gloves for the American League: Eduardo Rodriguez, Sean Murphy, Jose Abreu, DJ LeMahieu, Matt Chapman, Francisco Lindor, who is now on the Angels. That's right. He did not re-sign with the Mets in this. Randy Rosarena, Byron Buxton, and Aaron Judge. In the National League, Corbin Burns won a Gold Glove. Carson Kelly, Colton Welker won a Gold Glove at first base. Luis Guillorme, Nolan Arenado, Nick Ahmed, Jock Peterson, Harrison Bader won another Gold Glove in center field, and Mookie Betts, reliever of the year in the American League. That's a shame. National League, the reliever of the year was this guy that this is the guy that I think we were looking at signing. So maybe we should have signed him. Although our bullpen was good, so we really didn't need him. We didn't get any votes for reliever of the year. The Japan posted players, and there's not really anybody there this year. Silver Sluggers in the American League: Danny Jansen, Vlad Guerrero Jr., Brandon Lau, Jerry Urshela, Bo Bichetti, Taylor Trammell, Byron Buxton, Aaron Judge, Andrew Vaughn, and Will Smith, Pete Alonso, Gavin Lux, Max Muncy, Fernando Tatis Jr., Juan Soto, Cody Bellinger, Ronald Acuna Jr., and Jeff McNeil, your Silver Sluggers in the National League. Here is your AL top rookie, Terran Vavra for the Baltimore Orioles. And in the National League, it was Pavin Smith. Valade received some votes, which is kind of cool to see. The Diamondbacks got a lot of votes this year with rookies. Apparently, Justin Dunn released an album. Good for him. Number one manager in the American League was Scott Little for the Chicago White Sox. In the National League, it was Jace Tingler for the San Diego Padres. Cy Young in the American League probably was Giolito, and it was. Lazardo and Severino finished behind him. Bieber, Pearson right behind them. And in the National League, it goes to LeMay. And then it is Fried, Bauer, Gore, Flaherty right behind them. The MVP in the American League goes to Vlad Guerrero Jr. The Blue Jays get two players who finish in the top three. And in the National League, no surprise, Ronald Acuna Jr., followed by Nick Senzel, Tatis, Juan Soto, and Cody Bellinger. Joey Gallo, as expected, did not accept his qualifying offer, so we will receive a compensation pick whenever a team signs it, because I don't think we will re-sign him. I can't imagine that would be the best use of our money. So after all of that, if we go to the front office, we still have $82 million for free agents, $77 million for extensions. So let's move on to the free agency filings, and let's see who is available. So let's take a look here first at the international people. And so here is a sidearm power pitcher, a borderline starter. It's not really worth our time. Let's see. It does not look like the best international class I've ever seen. And yeah, it's really not. This is a pretty weak international class. So we're not going to go shopping there this offseason. Free agents have filed, though, for the major league. So let's go take a look here at free agents, and we'll sort by all players overall. And so here we go. So Jacob deGrom has hit the free agency market, which is interesting. He's only looking for $21 million as a compensation pick. I think we would lose our our first round pick this year if we did sign somebody like a Jacob deGrom. But I am kind of interested. What is he looking for in a contract? He's only looking for a 3-year deal. That is really tempting to sign Jacob deGrom. He put up a 3.86 ERA, a 3.68 FIP a season ago in 2022, this past season, I should say. So let's take a look here at just some of the top batters that are available. I think that'll be good, just to see. So Xander Bogaerts is out there. That would be interesting for a shortstop, but he's looking for a lot of money. I don't think he's worth $33 million a year. So that's probably not something that we're going to look to sign. We do need to replace Joey Gallo somehow. I'd like to see maybe if his demands have gone down a little bit. They've actually gone up. So we're definitely not going to sign him for that kind of money. I don't even want to do that over like a 4-year deal. I think that's a little much. But we got some names here, certainly. And then I do want to go to pitchers. Let's go all the way to the top. So Jacob deGrom is the best starter available. Chris Sale is out there. He has a torn UCL. So he will be back in 4 to 5 months. So he would be ready to pitch at some point early in the season, maybe not by opening day, but at some point in the games that he did pitch with Boston, he has been pretty good in this save. So he is a fly ball pitcher, though. Probably not the best use of our budget. Mike Clevenger is out there, rotator cuff inflammation. this is a guy that I like Mike Clevenger a lot as a pitcher in real life. So this is a guy maybe we look to sign to maybe like a 3-year deal. I think that might be kind of good. He wants a 6-year deal. I definitely don't want to give him a 6-year deal, but maybe something smaller would be good. James Paxton's out there. As a fly ball, I really don't want to sign any fly ball pitchers. I don't think that's the best use of our options here. Chris Bassett, I don't think that would be good either. So it doesn't seem like there's a ton of really good options. This class seems to be really, really top heavy. I mean, Jose Abreu's out there. He would be kind of interesting as a DH, and then maybe we move Blackman just back to right field for 1 year. I don't know how badly that would affect the defense, but I'm going to do the same thing I did in the last episode. I'm going to stop it here. That way you guys can kind of see who's available, who maybe want me to target. Here are the catchers. Christian Vasquez is out there. He's looking for $10 million. He has not been good he was good offensively in 2021, but he wasn't good in 2022. So this could be a guy maybe we look to kind of solidify that catcher position, or we could just go with a different, less expensive option. I really wouldn't be, although I was going to say I wouldn't be upset with a guy like this, but his offense really hasn't been super great either. I guess it's been better than Zunino. But here are some of the top catchers available. As I said, here are some of the top batters. Let me go all the way back up here. So I'll just scroll down a little bit here. That way you guys can see some of the names that are available. If you see anybody that sticks out, let me know who you would like me to sign. So those are just some of the batters. At this point, we're kind of getting to the bottom, so we're going to stop there. And then pitching-wise, here are just a mix of the best starters and relievers that are available. Jose Barrios is there, but another fly ball pitcher. I don't think that's going to play in Coors, so I don't know if that's really worth it. I see Matthew Boyd. I think he's an extreme fly ball guy, so that's really not worth it. Zach Eflin is neutral. He's been okay so far. He'd be cheap, I guess, at $10 million, but I don't know if that's really worth it. So here are some of the pitchers that are available, and that is that. How did Justin Verlander do? Because we did look at him, a 5.14 ERA. Yikes. It's good we did not sign him. So there we go. Jacob deGrom is really appealing to me, even at 34 years old. I think that might be a good use of our money. It seems like that could be pretty interesting, but just let me know. I will do this kind of thing again where I go to our lineup. So we do need a starting catcher. We do need a shortstop, and we either need somebody that can a really good bat to DH, or we need a right fielder. That way Blackman does not have to play the field anymore. I'd probably hazard to say I'd prefer an outfielder and not just a bat, but that is that. And then pitching wise, I'm fine giving Conine a shot at that fifth starter's job, but we will need one starting pitcher eventually. Well, not eventually. We do need one starting pitcher, and I don't want to put Peter Lambert in here if we're going to have Brett Conine. I only want to use one of them, and I think Conine's probably the better option, even though he only has 40 stamina. That we do need one relief pitcher, maybe two, and that's about that. So catcher, let's go here. Catcher, shortstop, right fielder or DH, preferably some type of outfielder, and then we do need one starting pitcher and maybe one bullpen piece. And that is the team needs. As I said, we have $84 million available for free agency. So that's how the team is looking right now. So let me know, guys, down in the comments below who you would like me to maybe see me target. Of course, I take the comments into consideration, but as you guys saw with the Syndergaard thing, sometimes things just don't work out the way that we want them to work out. In hindsight, maybe it would have been smart to sign Syndergaard even with that contract. But having said that, I want to thank y'all for watching this episode. We will be back with another episode tomorrow, where we will take a look at your suggestions and we'll make some signings to improve the team heading into 2023. So thank you all for watching. I'll catch you guys again next time. Enjoy the rest of your day.